Welcome
to mashupradio.co.uk.
La meilleure émission de radio.
What does that mean, you say?
It means the best radio show.
For anything you need.
Visit us in the Mash Den.
mashupradio.co.uk.
Come anytime, it's free.
Projects.
I've been in Derby for quite a few years now, say 20 odd years, and I think there's been quite a few stories relating to knife crime in and around the UK that have been quite publicised, etc. But of recent, I think there's been a lot of knife crime going off in London. I think there was something reported that there was 5 attacks in one day in and around this, more or less the same area.
This is not the acid attacks, this is definitely knife crime.
This is definitely knife crime, yes, stabbings, etc. And for me, I think people carry around knives for different reasons, like Zach said. So it could be from a protection point of view. It could be because other people around them are carrying knives and they're thinking, you know, I don't want to be the odd person out in the group that's not carrying a knife. And also to do with self-preservation. Because if you kind of feel that somebody's coming after you and you've heard through the grapevine that they've got a knife, like in the little bit of acting that the young people did at Vinci, if you're carrying it because you're thinking, you know what, I'm being bullied, somebody might retaliate against me with a knife, I need to have some kind of protection for myself. So it could be any of the above. And you're probably thinking, you know what, a knife isn't that bad to carry. I'd rather carry a knife than a gun. Or a knife is easy to conceal. I might not have to use it, but you know, it's easy for me to carry around with me to make me feel like I'm protected.
So the dog they actually brought in because, again, students didn't know this was going to happen. So we started the assembly, then it then just started and the police officer walked in and said, sorry, I've got to stop the assembly. We've had news that there's a serious incident, and that someone's carrying something that shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Can everybody on the front row put their bags in front of them and move away from them? So I mean that just like, and then the officer came in with the dog, wasn't it? And he went along every bag, and
even
the bag,
if they weren't involved.
So they weren't involved. So all the way along the line. And then luckily they did just sit at the one because I got because so they did just go and sit at the one that got the gun in it, and then they opened up the bag, and it was the students' faces, wasn't it? It was like, and the Shah was arrested, and
just happy that they didn't find any of the other bags.
Yeah. Exactly. Or happy that there was nothing else in any of the other bags.
That's right, because that is something that we have talked about, wasn't it, as part of the project? Is okay. Because we're going to have all these police in the school's ground, what would happen if they did find anything?
They'd just take them. They said they would literally just take normal precautions, and there's so many police, you can't really do anything.
Nothing on you.
At all, sure.
This is to suggest that you have some metal concealed somewhere. Do you have something on you? Do we need to search you?
Be honest and truthful with us. Have you got anything on you at all? I'd rather you be honest and truthful with us. In your bag.
What is it?
Right, just stay there a minute, okay?
It's in your bag, is it? Okay. Well, at this time, you're under arrest for being in possession of a illegal article, okay? You don't have to say anything, you can make on the defence, and do not make any questions, which you later on have to anything you do so may be given evidence.
Projects.
Your standard kitchen knife and stuff like that. I don't know if it really counts, but machetes and stuff like that.
Definitely.
But you've also got like your steak knives. They're still pretty harmful to you.
Steak knife, butterfly knife, what's it called? Butter knife.
Even your pen knife, your little pen knife. You're thinking probably 3 inches. It's not really going to cause any harm. I think once you start going to the 4 inches, etc., that's a lethal weapon.
I mean, if someone else brings a knife, it would be almost self-defense to bring another. Also, you get peer pressured. If you're involved in a group of people which bring knives, you would also bring a knife because it's kind of a thing that you have to do sometimes.
And nowadays, some people think it's cool to bring a knife to make yourself look strong and a bigger person.
It's anything, any knife that you. But I mean, you see a lot of people arrested for holding pocket knives. Just pull out, but Literally any knife that is a bladed article could be you could be arrested for.
Because that's what we tried to show in the video, wasn't it? Because Tatty, you had like a penknife on, wasn't it, that you decided to take? And Cameron, what was yours? Because yours we did it from the kitchen drawer, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the first responders, they did an act and there was a lot of fake blood. You could see it on the floor, it was like puddles of it and stuff.
And I think actually the students were really shocked, wasn't they?
Yeah, because if it was an actual stab wound, it would be quite a lot of blood because it's a thin blade.
Yeah.
So there was quite a big pool of blood, and then there was somebody there with looked like a knife sticking out of their arm, and the students were quite shocked because they thought this was all real, you see, and it's it was just those first responses really, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, something like I think it was like 40 or 60% of people carry knives or something. It was like a really high amount, and I would have thought it would be a little amount because you don't really see many people, but then again you wouldn't see them if they were carrying a knife. So
I think what shocked you, Tatty, is when we was in the video, wasn't it, about the consequences?
Of just carrying a knife, you can go up to, I think it was 4 years.
Yeah.
Just for carrying a knife if you get caught with one.
But it was also about the joint enterprise, because that was interesting, wasn't it?
Joint enterprise. I think it was something like, if you knew that the person had a knife and you didn't warn anyone or get any help to try and prevent the person from using it, then you would get a really bad consequence. I think it was something like 10 years.
Stuff like this I've been studying because I've been trying to get into law, so I've been kind of learning this sort of thing. But I mean, I've never realised how big it is. I've known like the consequences are pretty dramatic, but if you know someone hasn't, say you've seen someone with a knife and you're too scared to tell anyone, you could get arrested for that, and it's kind of shocking because you'd think maybe they're just a bit too scared to tell anyone, but it's apparently still illegal, so that's quite shocking. If you're scared of someone because they have a knife, to be honest, if you do tell someone they get arrested, it's not like they're going to be able to do anything to you in about in about 4 years, and I mean by then you'll be gone. So to be honest, there's no reason to be scared because once they've been arrested, then they're not going to escape the police. That's one thing that's never going to happen. So once they've been caught, then it's over for them. They're not going to be able to do anything because, I mean, good luck getting out of a jail cell.
We did have a good listen to Miss Mosley, Tatty, and I think it was Cameron as well, who all played part in the dramatisation and knife crime experience that was projects out at Da Vinci School. I'd imagine some people might think that it's better that I stab you in the leg than in the chest. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Tatty?
I think in relation to that, there's nowhere on the body that's better to be stabbed. You hit a vital vein, then that person's going to bleed to death. Shock, etc. All those kind of things kind of come into play. It's not just thinking about a vital spot that you're going to hit, i.e. the lung, the liver, etc. or an artery in the neck. You've still got very important blood vessels kind of going through your leg, your arm, etc.
One of the side effects to freedom of speech and music, kind of being shocking.
Yeah.
Well, what used to be shocking, back in the day, in the original days of kind of more out there music, like the original days of hip hop and rap. It was really shocking when they talk about shanking and stuff, and it kind of got an audience. It got people interested, and now it's kind of become normalised in a lot of genres. And I think people are almost immune to it these days. They're kind of desensitised to it all in music because you're so used to it. A song talking about
subliminal.
Lots of raps, they're like, oh yeah, I'll stab you with this and do this, and I don't understand. I don't listen to some music for that reason because I don't understand they put so much violence into the rap. Then there are raps which are like totally anti-violence. They're like, oh yeah, this, like trying to stop it, but I mean that's kind of countering what the people do to. I don't know. I might like, I don't know, promote using them a little bit, but I'm not sure.
And some are about their past experiences in their life as well.
Yeah, because not necessarily, depends on how fanatically you listen to music. But I mean, it's kind of, sometimes when you're listening to music, you kind of just get into the song. You don't really listen to the lyrics unless you want to learn the lyrics. But I'm not sure.
And that's something that we're to really seriously think about, wasn't it? Is that we didn't want to make it a dramatisation that would, hype it up really. It was about all the consequences. And one of the videos that the students saw, which was quite powerful, was someone who'd been in a knife attack, wasn't it? And now that they were in a wheelchair, they weren't able to feed themselves, and so it was quite powerful seeing that. And you saw pictures of him beforehand of this outgoing, cheerful, guy, and then seeing him just, like withering away in a wheelchair. Really, I think it needs to be hard hitting, wasn't it? We decided that we needed to make it, it was fun, wasn't it? But it was also a very serious message there. And in the video we put about that if you bring a knife into school, it's not just a school matter, it will be a police matter. So it's like we tried to get that message across all the time, really, wasn't it, through everything that we did throughout the morning.
To show that it's a real issue. It's not just...
We're not just doing it just for a bit of fun, it is actually a real big issue out there for the community. It wasn't just about you coming out with a real big knife that you're going to stab someone.
Machete.
Yeah, that's it. It was like a small pen knife, wasn't it, so...
Project Now.
Project Now.